Please take your seats. At this time, please place all electronic devices to vibrate.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the charter meeting of January 7th, 2026. I am Michael McSweeney, the City Clerk and the Clerk of the Council, and I would like to thank you for joining us. I call this meeting to order pursuant to Section 42 of the Charter. Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. The Board of Elections certified the election of the members of the Council of the City of New York on December 2nd, 2025. The following council members have been duly elected. 1st District, Christopher Marte. 2nd District, Harvey D. Epstein. 3rd District, Eric D. Botcher. 4th District, Virginia Maloney. 5th District, Julie Menon. 6th District, Gail A. Brewer. 7th District, Sean Abreu. 8th District, Elsie Encarnacion. 9th District, Youssef Salam. 10th District, Carmen N. De La Rosa. 11th District, Eric Dinowitz. 12th District, Kevin C. Riley. 13th District, Shirley Aldebol. 14th District, Piorina A. Sanchez. 15th District, Oswald J. Felice. 16th District, Althea V. Stevens. 17th District, Justin E. Sanchez. 18th District, Amanda C. Farias. 19th District, Vicky Palladino. 20th District, Sandra Ung. 21st District, Chanel Thomas Henry. 22nd District, Tiffany L. Caban. 23rd District, Linda Lee. 24th District, James F. Gennaro. 25th District, Shaker Krishnan. 26th District, Julie Won. 27th District, Natasha M. Williams. 28th District, Ty Hankerson. 29th District, Lynn C. Shulman. 30th District, Phil Wong. 31st District, Selvina N. Brooks Powers. 32nd District, Joanne Ariola. 33rd District, Lincoln Ressler. 34th District, Jennifer Gutierrez. 35th District, Crystal Hudson. 36th District, Chi A. Osei. 37th District, Sandy Nurse. 38th District, Alexa Aviles. 39th District, Shahana K. Hanif. 40th District, Rita C. Joseph. 41st District, Darlene Mealy. 42nd District, Chris Banks. 43rd District, Susan Zhuang. 44th District, Simca Felder. 45th District, Farah N. Lewis. 46th District, Mercedes Narcisse. 47th District, Kayla Santos Suoso. 48th District, Ina Vernikoff. 49th District, Camila M. Hanks. 50th District, David M. Carr. 51st District, Frank Morano. I would now direct the clerk to call the roll of those members so elected for the purpose of determining the presence of a quorum.
Abreu.
Present.
Aldebol.
Present.
Ariola.
Present.
Aviles. Banks.
Here.
Botcher.
Present.
Brewer.
Here.
Brooks Powers.
Present.
Caban.
Present.
Carr.
Present.
De La Rosa.
Here.
Dinowitz.
Present.
Encarnacion.
Presente.
Epstein. Farias.
Presente.
Felder.
Here.
Felice. Gennaro.
Here.
Gutierrez.
Presente.
Hanif.
Present.
Hankerson.
Present.
Hanks.
Present.
Hudson.
Present.
Joseph.
Present.
Krishnan.
Here.
Lee.
Here.
Lewis.
Present.
Maloney.
Present.
Marte.
Present.
Mealy,
100% present.
Menon,
Present.
Morano,
Here.
Narcisse,
Présent.
Nurse,
Here.
Jose,
Here.
Palladino,
Here.
Wrestler,
Here.
Riley,
Present.
Salam,
Present.
Justin Sanchez,
Present.
Purina Sanchez,
Present.
Santuoso,
Here.
Schulman,
Here.
Stevens,
Here.
Thomas Henry,
Present.
Ung,
Present.
Vernikov,
Present.
Williams,
I'm here.
One,
Present.
Wang,
Present.
Zhuang.
Present.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. We have a quorum.
Thank you. I would now ask New York State Attorney General Letitia James to administer the oath of office.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It's an honor and a privilege to be back in my old seat. When I look at the group before me, I see really the best of New York City. And yeah. New Yorkers made their priorities loud and clear, and our constituents want a city that they can afford, a city where they can raise their families safely and comfortably, a city that powers the economy with opportunity for all, and a city that fosters the world's greatest art, greatest culture, music, food, and so much more, and a city that respects and reflects all. Challenges await us in the coming year, my friends, with prices soaring and too many families struggling to make ends meet. But New York has always led the way out of darkness. And together, all of us together, we can ensure that this is a city where we look out for our neighbors, where we finally leave the tired zero-sum politics behind us, and where public servants work in lockstep to bring down cost and uplift working people, and where justice reigns and prosperity abounds. This council is perfectly positioned to deliver all of that. And I'm so honored and privileged to be here today with all of you. And I join with all of you as we accomplish that, and I will be your partner in all that you do every step of the way. And now I have the honor and privilege of issuing the oath. And so I now request that all council members please stand for the oath of office. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear and affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of New York, and the Charter of the City of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of council member in your respective district. State your district. And now state your respective borough. In the borough of? In the city of New York, according to the best of my ability. Congratulations, and so help all of you. Thank you.
We will now have today's invocation, which will be delivered by Rabbi Joseph Potasnik, the Executive Vice President of the New York Board of Rabbis, which is located at 420 Lexington Avenue in Manhattan.
All rise.
Thank you. I'm humbled by the applause. Councilmember Menon reminded me of an old religious proverb which states, "Blessed are those who speak briefly, for they shall be invited back." Thank you very much for the reminder. On this special day in our city, let us walk away remembering two words: united and untied. Interestingly, both are spelled with the exact same letters. The only difference is where you place the letter I. If a person only speaks of I rather than we, a relationship becomes untied. But where the we takes precedence over the I, that relationship can remain united. We teach our children that in mathematics 1 and 1 equals 2. We have to show our children that in human relationships, 1 and 1 can also equal 1. That we all share members of the human family in our DNA. We all have to teach them that unity of spirit and diversity of thought can walk hand in hand. Interestingly, in medical terms, the word menin is a protein that suppresses disease. We need more menin to stop the spread of this disease of hatred of the other, whoever the other may be. As Cardinal Dolan said to me recently, anti-Semitism is anti-Christianity, is anti-Islam, and you can reverse that equation any way you want. So, Councilmember Menon, keep in mind that a leader is one who knows the way, who shows the way, and who goes the way. All of us here will go on that way together, different and the same. 1 and 1 equaling 2 and equaling 1. May you, members of the City Council, be blessed for who you are and be blessed for what you do. Amen.
Thank you, Rabbi Potasnik. I would now ask Councilmember Virginia Maloney to spread the invocation on the record.
Thank you. I would like to thank Rabbi Potasnik for being here today. Rabbi Potasnik is a faith leader whose work reflects the values of service, compassion, and civic responsibility that define New York City. Rabbi Potasnik serves as Executive Vice President of the New York Board of Rabbis, the largest interdenominational rabbinical organization in the world. And he serves as the Chief Chaplain of the New York City Fire Department, the first time a chief has ever been named in 160 years. In the aftermath of September 11th, he was a steady and important presence supporting families, first responders, and communities across our city as New Yorkers confronted loss with resilience and care. Through decades of leadership, Rabbi Potasnik has been a consistent and principled voice for Jewish life in New York. At moments of rising anti-Semitism and uncertainty, he has spoken with moral clarity and resolve, reminding us that public life is strongest when grounded in dignity, responsibility, and care for one another. I make a motion for unanimous consent to spread the invocation in full upon the record.
So ordered. Thank you. We will now move to M1, the continuation of the rules. I would like to recognize Councilmember Sandra Ung to make a motion regarding the rules of the council.
I make a motion pursuant to Section 46 of the New York City Charter that the 2024 to 2025 rules of the council, as amended, be continued and in effect until the new rules are adopted or said rules are otherwise amended or modified.
Thank you, Councilmember Ung. I will now call for a voice vote on the motion. All those in favor, say aye.
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 All those opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? The ayes have it. The motion passes. We will now move on to M2, the nomination of the Speaker. Pursuant to Section 44 of the Charter and Rule 3.00D of the Rules of the Council, I hereby open the floor for nominations for the office of Speaker of the City Council for the term commencing January 1st, 2026 and terminating December 31st, 2029. I hereby recognize Councilmember Riley.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Today, I want to submit the nomination for Councilmember Julie Menin for Speaker of the New York City Council. Julie brings more than 2 decades of public and private sector experience to this body. As an attorney, a former small business owner, a civic leader, and a 3-time city commissioner, she understands how the city works and how the decisions we make here affect New Yorkers in their daily lives. In working alongside Julie, I've seen a thoughtful, steady leader and a true bridge builder, someone who brings people together, listens across differences, and moves towards solutions. She has consistently centered her oversight on fairness, transparency, and equity, while advancing policies that support working families, protecting reproductive rights, expand access to childcare, and strengthen small businesses. Continuing a strong tradition of a women-led city council and the men that get it. Julie also has a clear understanding of the crisis facing our city and our country today, and the responsibility the council has to lead in moments of uncertainty. As an adjunct professor at Columbia University, she teaches how cities can innovate and step up when the federal government pulls back. She is a leader who gets things done, respects this intuition and institution, and brings people together around real impact. I trust that she will lead this council with integrity, collaboration, and a clear sense of purpose. For those reasons, I am proud to nominate Councilmember Julie Menin to serve as the Speaker of the New York City Council, and I look forward to continuing our work together in the body on behalf of the communities across the 5 boroughs. Thank you.
Thank you. I now recognize Councilmember Abreu.
It is an honor to stand before you today for this historic moment. I rise to nominate a leader, a friend, and a colleague to serve as the next Speaker of the New York City Council, Julie Menin. In 2015, I was 24 years old and working as a liaison for the city, meeting with workers across Manhattan to let them know about the new law that guaranteed them the right to take a sick day. The person leading that work on behalf of Mayor de Blasio was Department of Consumer Affairs Commissioner Julie Menin. Yes, she was my boss. Today, most New Yorkers take for granted that we can take time from work for a doctor's appointment or to recover from an illness. But that did not happen by accident. It happened because of the leadership from a strong city council and people like Julie with a determination to fulfill the city's responsibility to stand up for New Yorkers. As commissioner, Julie did not just enforce the laws. She reimagined what the Department of Consumer Affairs could be. She took an agency known primarily for issuing fines and transformed it into one that emphasized fairness and prevented abuses before they happened. Under her leadership, the department instituted more than 24 reforms that gave small businesses a chance to cure violations and dramatically increased consumer restitution, and she will be sure to remind you by more than 70%. Julie also understood that consumer protection and worker protection are deeply connected. Drawing on her experience as a regulatory attorney, she led the effort to expand the agency's mission to include worker protection. In addition to paid sick leave, she launched and implemented landmark laws, including the living wage, the Car Wash Workers Bill, and Freelance Isn't Free Act. Those efforts fundamentally reshaped the agency into what we now know as the Department of Consumer and Worker Protection. She paired strong enforcement with deep outreach. When implementing paid sick leave, Julie made sure information was available in 26 languages, far exceeding what the law required, because she understood that rights only matter if people knew that they had them. Under Julie Menin's leadership, no community is overlooked. Julie also believed that enforcement should put real money back into people's pockets. She launched a new earned income tax credit initiative that returned more than $260 million to low-income New Yorkers and expanded access to the city's free tax centers, resulting in a remarkable 50% increase in participation. And she would be sure to remind you that we did that through the most unprecedented phone-a-thon throughout our city. Her leadership extended beyond immediate protections to long-term opportunity as well. As commissioner, she helped launch New York City Kids Rise, creating a universal college savings account for every New York City kindergartner. More than 280,000 children received accounts totaling over 50 million, a powerful statement about what we owe the next generation. Most importantly, Julie Menin offers no quarter to those who wish to take advantage of New Yorkers for their own profit. She led investigations into for-profit colleges, fraudulent auto loans, abusive debt collection practices, and illegal online sales, showing that consumer protection can also be a matter of public safety. This remarkable slice of Julie Menin's career somehow sandwiched between time spent running a small business and starting a family on one side and demonstrating exceptional leadership as a member of the City Council on the other. I'm proud to have known her then and now, and it is an honor to nominate Julie Menin to serve as the next Speaker of the New York City Council.
I now recognize Councilmember Lewis.
If we are serious about advancing women's equity and building an economy that works for all New Yorkers, then we need a speaker who has delivered results in both arenas. That leader is Julie Menin. Long before it was common to talk about women in leadership, Julie helped create She Should Run, a national organization that has now trained more than 12,000 women across the country to step up and run for office. That work helped change who sees themselves as a leader and who gets a seat at the table. Julie carried that same commitment into her role as Commissioner of the Mayor's Office of Media and Entertainment, where she paired women's equity with real economic growth. She launched the nation's first municipal film fund, providing direct cash grants for women, filmmakers, musicians, and playwrights, and created programs that connected women creators with the financing they needed to complete their work. At the same time, Julie delivered extraordinary economic results for New York City. She expanded the Made in New York production program, helping thousands of diverse young people enter the film and television industry. Under her leadership, New York reached historic levels of television and film production, generating more than $9 billion in economic activity and tens of thousands of jobs. For the first time, the Office of Media and Entertainment formally included the music industry, publishing, advertising, and she negotiated the agreement to bring the Grammy Awards back to New York City, generating more than $200 million in economic impact. Julie Menin understands how to grow our economy while lifting up women and working families. That is the kind of experience, values-driven leadership we need in a speaker. Today, I am proud to nominate Julie Menin as the Speaker of the New York City Council, and I am confident in her proven ability to lead with vision and champion inclusive economic growth to guide the Council into a new era of innovative, equity-driven governance for all New Yorkers. Thank you.
Thank you. I now recognize Councilmember Lee.
Good afternoon, colleagues. Today it is my great pleasure to nominate my friend and colleague, Julie Menin, to serve as our next City Council Speaker. Throughout her career, starting from her time as a Community Board Chair to her time as our colleague in the Council, Julie has served as a dedicated advocate for our workforce, whose labor built our city brick by brick, and for everyday working families who have struggled far too long to make ends meet in New York City. As chair of the Committee on Mental Health, Disabilities, and Addictions, I've had the privilege of working closely with Julie on our resolution for first responders and survivors of September 11th. More than 2 decades after the events of 9/11, New Yorkers still suffer from the effects of exposure to toxins and debris at Ground Zero. And as a former community board chair in Lower Manhattan who fought for the creation of the World Trade Center Health Program, Julie stepped up once again when the federal government failed to address critical funding gaps for the medical care and support survivors deserve. Julie has continued to demonstrate the aptitude for coalition building paired with an unwavering focus on delivering real results for New Yorkers. And at a time when our city grapples with the issue of affordability, Julie Menin has displayed her commitment to economic mobility, starting with our youngest New Yorkers, those who will grow to become our future leaders. Through her work as the founding board chair of New York City Kids Rise, Julie has laid the foundation to launch career saving accounts for every kindergartner in New York City. And research has shown that children with even the most modest savings accounts are 3 times more likely to enroll in college and 4 times more likely to graduate, creating the pathway for economic stability in their professional careers. And during the pandemic, parents across our city experienced firsthand the consequences of a broken child care system, myself included. And in the push for universal child care, Julie Menin was instrumental in building a coalition of advocates and providers to advance pivotal legislation that made child care more accessible, positioning New York City as one of the first major cities in the country with the ability to make universal child care a reality. Julie has spent her career fighting for New Yorkers, bringing that same passion and determination to her work and the council. And as we confront continued challenges around housing and affordability, she is the innovative leader, I want to say that again, innovative leader and coalition builder that our council needs to deliver real results for families across New York City. So it is with my great honor to nominate my colleague, Julie Menin.
Thank you. I now call upon Councilmember Hanks.
Good afternoon. I stand here today from the fabulous 5th Borough of Staten Island. I am proud to nominate Councilmember and friend Julie Menin for the Speaker of the New York City Council. Throughout her career, Julie has led innovative public-private partnerships that address some of the city's most pressing needs. As Commissioner of the Department of Consumer Affairs, she's helped launch the NYC Kids Rise partnership with the Gray Foundation, seeking college saving accounts for more than 280,000 public school children and investing in over $50 million in their futures. That is how we begin to close the wealth gap and invest in the next generation. Julie has partnered with Asphalt Green to launch Wave Makers, providing 2,000 second graders with free swim lessons in their own neighborhoods, improving safety, health, and access for families for the city. She has also led the groundbreaking partnership with the Museum of Jewish Heritage, bringing 85,000 public and charter school students into the Holocaust education to confront anti-Semitism and learn the consequences of hate. She has been a leading voice in the digital equity, helping to bring zero-cost internet to NYCHA residents by working with providers and leveraging federal subsidies, recognizing that collectively and connectively is essential to opportunity. From Manhattan to Staten Island, Julie understands that communities may look different, but they deserve the same level of leadership, investment, and follow-up. Julie Menin knows how to turn collaboration into impact, and that is the leader that this council needs, and that is why I am proud to nominate her for Speaker of the New York City Council. Mazel tov. Thank you.
Thank you. I now recognize Councilmember Krishnan.
Good afternoon. I am proud to be here today nominating Councilmember Julie Menin to be our next leader and City Council Speaker. A speaker to lead this body must be relentless in fighting for New Yorkers and defending our values, whether it's street vendors facing Donald Trump's mass deportation campaign or the Uber and Lyft drivers of our city trying to get answers after being unfairly fired from billion-dollar tech companies. I know that this council always stands up for New Yorkers and takes on those fights. We need a leader who is willing to back us up and fight right next to us, who has taken on Donald Trump, big corporations, and anyone who stands between New Yorkers and justice and who has won in those fights. Julie Menin is that leader. She has a clear and bold vision for the job and the proven track record to execute on that vision. She has done that time and again in city government. For example, Julie stepped up to serve as New York City Census Director at a moment of extraordinary challenge. The stakes were enormous during the pandemic. Over $1 trillion in federal funds over the next decade for New York schools, healthcare, housing, and social services were on the line. When the Trump administration attempted to undermine the census by adding a citizenship question, which matters to communities like mine in Jackson Heights, Elmhurst, and Woodside, Queens, a question designed to suppress participation among immigrant communities, Julie fought back. Working alongside Attorney General Letitia James, she helped take the fight all the way to the Supreme Court and won. Time and again, when the federal government tried to manipulate the census to deprive our city's resources and look past our immigrant communities like my own, Julie stood firm and fought back. This type of fight that Julie brings into our body, this is the type of fight that Julie brings into our body. She's willing to take on the long fights for all New Yorkers. And I know this because I've worked with Julie, not only as a fellow lawyer in the City Council, but also in my capacity as Parks Chair to create long-lasting change for New Yorkers. You see, together with legislation and $1 million in funding from philanthropy, Julie and I created Wave Makers, the most comprehensive free swim program for children in the highest need areas of our city when it comes to swimming, from Jackson Heights, Queens to the Northwest Bronx, ensuring that all New Yorkers get access to swim programs, not just the wealthiest New Yorkers. Julie looks at every problem the same way. She looks at every problem New Yorkers face with the same dedication, and she will lead to make sure everyone in our city can thrive. Under Speaker Menin's leadership, I know we will deliver a truly affordable city by investing in programs that matter to New Yorkers. We will improve our parks and public spaces. We will hold predatory billion-dollar companies accountable, and we will protect tenants. We will take on the hard fights for New Yorkers and win. I'm confident that with Julie Menin as Speaker, our City Council will fight for all New Yorkers, and that is exactly why I proudly nominate her as our Speaker.
Thank you. I now call upon Councilmember Dinowitz.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Is anyone else excited besides me? Are we all excited? I'm really excited. I'm not just excited for the nominations. I'm excited because of the work that we get to do, the work that we get to do in this room. And if we think about the work that our constituents have entrusted us to do, it is an awesome responsibility. We come here, some of us as new council members, some of us returning, to confront enormous challenges. Challenges we've heard about with affordability, divisiveness in our government, and we must confront those challenges and govern with purpose and clarity in service of our shared values and the people that we were elected to represent, to fight for our children, our working families, older adults, people with disabilities, and everyone in between. And it's in moments like these that leadership matters most. Moral leadership, leadership that unites, navigates complexity, and moves this institution and our city forward with principle and resolve. Julie Menin has demonstrated time and again that she possesses that rare and essential ability. I speak about the work we do in this room, these historic decisions we make, but I do have to bring up, since we're in the room and Julie's family is here, this is also the room where we celebrate our culture and diversity. And we're not even a month ago, Julie's daughter, who's here, hi, Julie's daughter and my twin boys, all descendants of Holocaust survivors, stood right there and did the Hanukkah blessings as they lit the menorah. And as we do these blessings that are hundreds and hundreds of years old, those are the moments that I'm reminded about our shared history, our city's shared history, and what we pass on to the children of our city. And we stand on the cusp of making history by electing Julie as the first Jewish speaker of the New York City Council. And I am mindful not simply of her identity, but that she's guided by our traditions from generation to generation, what those values mean. And I'm going to share one with you, that in Jewish tradition, one of our texts is Pirkei Avot, the ethics of our fathers. And Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel teaches the world stands on three things: on justice, on truth, and on peace. In other words, fairness and honesty and unity. And in choosing a speaker today, we are choosing a moral steward of this institution, someone entrusted with fairness, with honesty, and with unity. And Julie's record proves that she embodies those values and acts on them. Julie has built an extraordinary record focused on justice, honesty, and unity by lowering costs for New Yorkers, increasing transparency for New Yorkers, and delivering real accountability for New Yorkers, all by unifying members of broad and diverse coalitions. She passed the landmark Healthcare Accountability Act, which created the first in the nation Office of Healthcare Accountability to shine a light on excessive hospital prices, protect patients and taxpayers alike, and lowering costs. She reduced red tape for small businesses by creating a one-stop portal for city permits and licenses, supporting the small businesses, the backbones of our communities. And at a time when our civil rights are under question from the federal government, she, in New York City, strengthened our civil rights by establishing a right to counsel for survivors of domestic violence and codified the right to reproductive health care into city law. Her leadership goes beyond legislation. Julie led a public-private partnership ensuring that every eighth grader in New York City has the opportunity to visit the Museum of Jewish Heritage, because she understands that memory, education, and empathy are not luxuries, they are not extras, they're obligations, particularly for us as elected leaders. They're vital to unifying this city and combating hate. Justice, truth, peace made real through Julie Menin's actions. And today we write the next chapter into our city's shared history, choosing what kind of legislature we will be and what values we will elevate. In choosing Julie Menin, we are choosing a stronger and fairer New York City. We are choosing a bold council that will stand up for everyday New Yorkers. As Speaker, Julie is ready to lead a council that protects the vulnerable, expands opportunity, and strengthens trust in our public institutions. She understands the weight of this moment and the responsibility of this role. And therefore, I am proud to second the nomination of my friend, Julie Menin, as Speaker of the New York City Council. And I urge my colleagues to stand with me as one united body to elect Julie Menin as the next Speaker of the New York City Council.
Thank you. Seeing that no other members have signed up to speak and hearing no further candidates, I now close the nominations and direct the clerk to call the roll. Council members, when your name is called, please state the name of the nominee you are voting for.
Abreu.
Aye for Menin.
Thank you. Aldebol.
I, Julie Menin.
Ariola.
I vote aye for Julie Menin, proudly and with no reservation.
Aviles.
I, Menin.
Thank you. Banks.
I and Julie Menin.
Botcher.
I proudly vote for Julie Menin.
Brewer.
I vote aye for Julie Menon, and I want to add that she did a great job on the census, and I know she's already brought it up again. And I want to say we are friends, even though I beat her for borough president. Thank you.
Brooks Powers.
Permission to explain my vote.
Permission granted.
Gotcha. I thought I was going to say something spicy, but I just wanted to congratulate Councilmember Julie Menon. Julie, after listening to you directly in terms of your commitments to what you like to do for this body, I am full of optimism and hope for what we can achieve in this council. As we all have said, council members are the city's first responders. When people need something on their block, they don't call their U.S. Senator, they call their council member. This is why I'm heartened by Councilmember Menon's plan to run this institution the right way, with both principles and pragmatism, with both accountability and transparency. And as for me, a daughter of Southeast Queens, I look forward to working with all of my colleagues here to continue the work with the same grit that my blue-collar neighbors exhibit day in and day out. There's a lot of work that is left ahead of us, and I look forward to working with Councilmember Menon and all of our colleagues on these priorities and more. Our mission is clear, our work is before us, our time is now, and we must honor the trust that New Yorkers have bestowed upon us to serve with action. Again, we must honor their trust with action. With that, it is my honor to nominate Councilmember Julie Menon as Speaker of the New York City Council.
Caban.
Permission to explain my vote?
Permission granted.
Thank you. I vote aye for Councilmember Menon as our next Speaker of the New York City Council. It's an honor to vote for the first Jewish Speaker of the New York City Council, who will serve alongside our first Muslim mayor of the greatest city in the world. My community sent me to City Hall to serve and fight for workers, for immigrants, and for queer and trans community and every one of our beloved neighbors. And I can't wait to do that together. So I vote aye. Thank you.
Carr.
Aye for Julie Menon.
De La Rosa.
Aye, Menon. Congrats.
Dinowitz.
Proudly vote for Julie Menon.
Encarnacion.
Permission to explain my vote?
Permission granted.
Thank you, Billy. Hello, everyone. I am honored to be here today as the elected representative of District 8, which represents East Harlem and the South Bronx. I was born and raised in this district and have a deep understanding of what our families are facing. District 8 needs an aggressive affordability agenda, strong economic and workforce development, access to childcare and youth services, and critical investments in our infrastructure. These priorities guide every vote that I will take on this floor. I believe and I pray that each vote I cast advances these goals and reflects the vision of the people who elected me. Today's vote reflects that commitment. Julie Menon brings experience, steady leadership, and a clear understanding of the importance of affordability, economic opportunity, and equity for our communities. Her values align with the needs of District 8 and with my belief that this council must work collaboratively to deliver those real results for New Yorkers. With that, and with the people of East Harlem and the South Bronx at the forefront of my mind, I proudly cast my vote for Julie Menon as Speaker. Thank you.
Epstein.
Permission granted.
I want to thank you all, Julie, for your leadership, your commitment. We've known each other for over 20 years, and the work you've done for future generations of this city has really been remarkable. You know, families are facing displacement. We know that New Yorkers are struggling every single day, and they turn to the City Council to look towards us to help them, to support them, to be with them. And that's exactly, I know what you're going to do every single day. We have to fix the affordability crisis. We got to deal with childcare. We got to make New Yorkers feel like they can continue to live here and stop the displacement of long-term families That is our commitment. I know that is your commitment for the next 4 years. I look forward to you being our amazing speaker, and I vote A for Julie Menon.
Farias.
I vote aye for Julie Menon for Speaker of the City Council. She understands the responsibility of this role and the moment that our City Council is in to respond and serve for our communities. Congrats.
Felder.
Aye for Councilmember Julie Menon.
Feliz.
Permission to explain my vote.
Permission granted.
Proud and honored to vote for my good friend Julie Menon for Speaker of this City Council. For many reasons, including because of the many priorities that she's mentioned these past few months, including affordable housing, childcare affordability, and also procurement reform. Briefly on procurement reform, New York City is a large city with a budget of approximately $116 billion, and a city with many challenging issues. We have to make sure that we properly manage our city, make sure that we're getting the best result out of our budget. Can we say we're doing the very best we can when it costs millions of dollars to build a city bathroom, or it takes $20 million and 10 years to renovate a small park in the Bronx? If it takes that long, by the time that the park is renovated, residents who live there will probably no longer live there. So we have to make sure that we work on many things, including and especially procurement reform. But more than that, Julie understands the importance of working together, bringing people together in such a diverse city. She has decades of experience in government, a former small business owner, former census director. Her dedication to this city has prepared her to fight and to resolve the challenges that we face. So probably vote yes for Julie. Congratulations to you and to your family who has joined. Thank you.
Gennaro.
I very proudly vote for my dear friend and colleague, Julie Menon. And notwithstanding the fact that I'm a Roman Catholic, I am shepping nachas at the prospect of voting for the first Jewish speaker. God bless Julie Menon.
Gutierrez.
Permission to explain my vote.
Permission granted.
I want to express my support for Ms. Julie Menon for Speaker of the City of New York. In the last 4 years, I've gotten to know her, work with her, and I think the thing that brings us close together is that we have children and that we believe that childcare should be universal for all. I know that she is serious about creating opportunities for all New Yorkers. We believe childcare is truly infrastructure. It is not a luxury, and I can't wait to accomplish that for our city and to support you, Julie, honestly. I think you're going to be great, and I support Julie. That's who my vote is for. Thank you.
Hanif.
Permission to explain my vote.
Permission granted.
Thank you. I vote aye alongside my colleagues to appoint Councilmember Menon as Speaker of the City of New York. In the City Council, as the first Muslim woman in the City Council, faith is personal to me and drives my fight and love for New York City, and I know that Councilmember Menon will be a strong partner against all types of hate. Islamophobia, anti-Semitism have no place in our city, and our council has so many opportunities to show the path of what solidarity, love, care looks like for all New Yorkers. Councilmember Menon brings decades of public service and a strong commitment to standing up for workers and consumers. I look forward to partnering with Speaker Menon to advance an affordability agenda that puts working class New Yorkers and families first, and to work together to meet this moment with collaboration and care. Thank you.
Hankerson.
I vote aye for Councilmember Julie Menon. Congratulations in advance, Madam Speaker.
Hanks.
I proudly vote aye for Councilmember Julie Menon for Speaker.
Hudson.
Permission to explain my vote.
Permission granted.
Thank you. Our city has embarked on a new chapter in its storied history. New Yorkers have made their demands clear. Out with government by the few, for the few. In with leadership that centers communities too often pushed to the margins. Out with lobbyists and special interests delivering for the wealthy elite, and in with leadership that centers communities too often pushed to the margins. Rather than accept conventional thinking that the city can't boost affordability, raise wages, improve public transit, or make our city safer, New Yorkers are now asking, how can we make this happen? Though it may be the enemy of bureaucracy, innovation is the friend of the people. Today, we are selecting a new speaker to represent us during what will be the final term for many members of this body. This council, under this speaker, has the opportunity to continue the work we began under Speaker Adrian Adams and deliver the agenda New Yorkers went to the ballot box in record numbers last fall to support. One that calls on government to help make our city more affordable, build more housing, bolster safety, improve mass transit, and ensure our most marginalized neighbors have what they need to thrive. I know many in this body are committed to delivering that agenda and will fight tooth and nail to enact it over the next 4 years. We are governing at a time when democratic norms are under strain nationally and when progress is regularly framed as unrealistic. We'll certainly face numerous challenges, with those coming from the Trump administration not the least of them. And we know our constituents are the ones who will be most impacted. But we also know who we are. New York is resilient. We are a city of problem solvers and of innovators. We have faced profound crises before, and each time we have met the moment by working towards our shared goals. As Ella Baker reminds us, strong people don't need strong leaders, but they do need leaders willing to share power. My hope is that in the next 4 years, we will lead with collaboration and innovation and never lose sight of who we are here to serve. Congratulations, Speaker Menon. I vote aye.
Joseph.
I vote aye for Speaker Menon, and I look forward to working on universal child care agenda with you. Thank you.
Krishnan.
Proudly vote aye for Councilmember Julie Menon as our next speaker.
Lee.
Proudly vote aye for Julie Menon as our next City Council Speaker.
Lewis.
Proudly voting aye for Julie Menon as Speaker of the City Council.
Maloney.
Permission to explain my vote.
Permission granted.
This is my first stated meeting as a member of the New York City Council, and this vote is a particularly important one. The Speaker sets the standard for how this institution governs, how we work together, and how we effectively deliver for New Yorkers. I'm proud to support Julie Menon to serve as our Speaker. Councilmember Menon brings more than 2 decades of experience inside and outside of city government. And as her neighbor, I have seen firsthand the depth of her dedication to community. As an East Sider, I've personally benefited from her consistent focus on execution and results through her funding of parks, schools, cultural institutions, things that make our shared Manhattan communities such wonderful places to live and work. She's taken that same love of community to the city level with legislation protecting New Yorkers from unfair medical costs, streamlining small business permits process, and championing universal childcare. Her commitment to the council's role as a serious and independent branch of government has earned her the respect of her colleagues. Her experience matters, particularly at a moment when New Yorkers look to city leaders for competence and effective government. This council must work together to meet a new era of challenges. Councilmember Menon is uniquely prepared to lead us in that effort, and I am proud to support her as our next speaker.
Marte.
Permission to explain my vote.
Permission granted.
Julie has led through troubling times. Here in Lower Manhattan, decades ago, Julie Menon was Community Board 1 chair, and she called Financial District and Tribeca home for a really long time. And during that time, people thought that Lower Manhattan was over, that it wouldn't see the great days ahead of it that it once lived. But Julie had a vision that separated her from most. She envisioned families, she envisioned new schools, she envisioned pedestrianized streets. She made a commitment to make sure that no matter who you worship, you could call Lower Manhattan your home. And today, the Financial District is one of the fastest growing neighborhoods all throughout the city and country because of her vision, because of her commitment to people in New York. I want to talk about another museum that wasn't mentioned earlier today, and that's the Tenement Museum, where Julie and her husband Bruce have supported for a really long time, which shows the struggles of not just people living in tenement buildings, but immigrants that have come to New York City for a better future. And this living museum teaches us the importance of our neighbors, whether you lived here for generations or you just came yesterday. And so I'm glad to cast a vote from the Lower East Side to the Financial District to Tribeca to say Julie Menon is our Speaker of the next City Council.
Mealy.
May I explain my vote?
Permission granted.
I just want to take this opportunity for someone who have been through 3 speakers, and this is my 4th one. I want to thank Julie Manning for being a friend. I want to thank her for, after she got the supermajority, I said, let me see, something happened. I said, let me see if she answered the phone. She did answer the phone, so I thank her. So, and I just want to thank my colleagues. I'm looking forward to all of us working together to never forget why we are here. And I proudly support Julie Manning because I know, she knows it's the government of the people, by the people, for the people. And I believe in Julie Manning. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Menon.
Well, it's a toss-up, but I am an aye for myself.
Morano.
Permission to explain my vote.
Permission granted.
Before explaining my vote, I want to begin by thanking the other candidates who put themselves forward during this process. Each of you did this body, I think, a real service. You forced ideas to be sharpened, priorities to be clarified, and ultimately, I think you made this a better body, and you made the person that we're about to elect a better candidate, I believe, and a better speaker. On a personal level, I want you to know how much I appreciated the opportunity to get to know each of you that reached out to not only me, but the Republican conference. As a Republican and a freshman, neither of which is typically viewed as a powerhouse combination in this chamber, it meant a great deal to me that you took the time to meet with me, to listen and to offer advice, and those conversations made me a better council member, and I'm grateful for them. But I'm also proud to enthusiastically vote for Councilmember Menon for Speaker today in unity with the Staten Island delegation, and to my 10 new colleagues, by the way, who joined this body this year. I would just gently suggest you keep Staten Island's new nickname in mind going forward, the Speaker Maker. I've known Julie Menon for a long time. I've always been impressed by her energy, her intellect, and her deep command of the issues. But since becoming a candidate for City Council, I've been especially struck by her genuine passion for this body and its members. When I first considered running for office, I had a pretty successful career as a radio commentator, and more than a few people, some out of genuine concern, others out of cynicism, asked me, why would you want to do this? Do you really think you'll be able to make a difference? And I'll admit, there were moments when I wondered if I was crazy. And when I told Julie I was thinking about running, she didn't hesitate. She was encouraging. And then she followed up with a call and said something I'll never forget and has stuck with me since then. She said, "You're going to love it." And that reassurance meant more to me than she probably realized, and she's been right every day of these last 8 months. But the reason I'm most enthusiastic about voting for Julie Menon today is because my constituents are counting on this body to speak for them. I know a lot of my colleagues are excited about the new administration, but nearly 1 million New Yorkers voted for someone else and something different. They're not excited. In many cases, they're fearful. And on behalf of middle-class homeowners, small landlords, parents of children in gifted and talented programs, Jewish New Yorkers, and yes, people who still think capitalism is a good thing, I believe they're counting on this council and on the new speaker to be a voice for them. Republicans are New Yorkers too, and they deserve just as much of a voice as anyone else. And Madam Speaker, that's my hope, and quite frankly, my expectation that we can work with the administration whenever we can, but to be a check on the administration when it goes too far. I'm proud to enthusiastically cast my vote for Julie Menon. I wish you the very best of luck. I know you're going to be terrific and have a great new partner in the Minority Leader as well.
Council member, how do you vote?
I enthusiastically vote aye for Julie Menon.
Just making sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Narcisse.
All right. This is so special today because I'm very proud of all my colleagues. For those that have questions about how government works, you have to think. When it comes to City Council, we are the people's workers. We work for them, and we put them first. And I'm so proud of all my colleagues to put together. So far, I hear so many I and why, and I am very proud to be a City Council member today more than ever. This is New York City. This is how we get peace in the Middle East, over here in New York City. We can have a Muslim, the first Muslim mayor, and the first woman Jewish speaker in our home. And we're gonna work together. We're gonna work together, and we know our responsibility. Julie, what can I say about you? I'm very proud to say congratulations to you, Julie, for your election. You're gonna be elected as our speaker. Throughout your career, Julie, you had worked so hard. And I can say you work hard, girl, to be the speaker today. You work, you paved, you really, really work hard. And I love to see when people work hard. You know, being a nurse, being in business, a businesswoman, we have so many conversations. But I can say I give it to you. You work. You made it easy for me in many ways. And I can remember for the census, you all know over here, Caribbean people don't like to be counted by government. And for now, you can know why. But Julie, you are able to put strategy in place for us to be able to get people out. And like we said, the first time ever, my community, especially in the Black community, were counted, many of us. It was such a big increase. So thank you for that. Julie, you standing up for working families. Thank you. Making city government work, not for one group, for everyone. Thank you for that. And that, when we sat down for you to explain how we're gonna make it work, I'm very satisfied. That's why I can say yes to that. You have been among the best advocate with me. Whenever I have issue, you always answer my question. Julie, you're gonna be a great partner, and I'm gonna hold you accountable, and you know that. So we're gonna make it work for the people of New York City. I am very proud of you, and congratulations in advance, because from the all day yes. So Julie, let's work together, make it happen for New York City. Despite all what's going on in the federal level, I know we got this. So thank you, congratulations already. I vote aye.
Nurse.
Permission to explain my vote?
Permission granted.
I just want to congratulate my seatmate on your win. I'm looking forward to collaborating with you, and I know you're going to be a great speaker. And I just want to welcome and congratulate again every new member who's here. Looking forward to working with all of you. And lastly, just want to extend my deep gratitude, appreciation for all of the residents of the 37th District. Thank you for trusting me and sending me back. I am so committed to you and to all New Yorkers, and I'm excited to get back to work, and I vote aye for Menon. Thank you.
Thank you. Osei.
Permission to explain my vote?
Permission granted.
Today, I cast my vote for Councilmember Julie Menon to serve as our council's next speaker. Councilmember Menon and I may not necessarily align on every issue, but when you think about it, who really does? As chair of the Consumer and Worker Protections Committee, Councilmember Menon worked with my office to move the FAIR Act through committee at a moment when the real estate lobby sought to stall it. She helped ensure a fair, transparent, and notably long hearing so every council member in this body and New Yorkers across the city could fully understand the bill on its merits. I look forward to working with Councilmember Menon and my colleagues to deliver an affordable New York City for the millions of working families who make this city the greatest in the world. With that, I vote aye and vote for Julie Menon as our next speaker.
Thank you. Palladino.
As a rugged individual who believes in rugged individualism, get a kick out of that. Okay, I proudly vote for Julie Menon for many different reasons. Most of all because of her understanding and her ability to, I hope, steer this trip on a ship on a very centrist course. We make up a body here of many different individuals. I believe in the First Amendment right to express how we feel. We are here to do the job, and the job is to serve the people. And we know best, our constituents and the city of New York. We are resilient. We've watched this city burn to the ground many, many times, but we've also watched it grow again. The phoenix did rise. So I look forward, Julie, to working with you, conversations with you and my other members. You all know my door is always open for conversation. But once again, as a rugged individual, who believes in rugged individualism and capitalism at its very best, I proudly vote for Julie Menon for Speaker of the City Council. Thank you.
Ressler.
I proudly vote for Councilmember Menon. I really want to just say how impressed I was by the campaign that you ran and the coalition that you built. I know that you're going to bring real rigor and substance and a robust policy agenda to this body that will not just serve the council well, but New Yorkers. And I'm looking forward to working together, and I really want to thank the people of District 33 for sending me back. I'm excited for the work ahead. Thank you.
Riley.
Proudly vote for Julie Menon to be our next Speaker of the City Council.
Salam.
Permission to explain my vote.
Permission granted.
May the peace, mercy, and blessings from the owner of all peace, mercy, and blessings be upon each and every one of you and your families. Councilmember Julie Menon, I am honored to vote for you as our next Speaker of this body. You have shown yourself to be a principled and effective leader with a deep command of the city's budget, small business, workers' rights, and oversight. Last year, Julie chaired the Committee on Consumer and Worker Protection, in which my bill to hold unlicensed contractors accountable to ensure home improvement projects are undertaken based on our city's permitting standards was heard and passed by this council. She understands how to move complex policy forward while keeping equity, accountability, and good governance at the center of the council's work. I'm proud to support Julie Menon for Speaker and confident that she will lead this council with integrity, with discipline, and with a clear vision for New York City's future. With that, I am proud to vote aye for Councilmember Julie Menon, and I look forward to working with you in the upcoming years.
Justin Sanchez.
Permission to explain my vote.
Permission granted.
I proudly vote aye for Julie Menon. I'm deeply proud to be here today in this chamber with all of you, ready to begin the work the people of New York City sent us here to do. Today feels like the culmination of a long journey of service, not just for me, but for so many who have dedicated their lives to your communities, your boroughs, and to our city. It is a big day for many of us, especially our soon-to-be newly elected Speaker, Julie Menon, who I'm proud to serve under and look forward to calling my Speaker. Julie Menon has been a resolute voice for progress, forged coalition amongst her colleagues, and bridged gaps, finding common ground across differences in our vast ideological spectrum. Her steadfast commitment to her values, her colleagues, and community will usher in what is truly shaping up to be a new era for our city. An era rooted in competence and collaboration, driven by results for New Yorkers. While today is certainly a high point, it is also just the beginning. I'm eagerly looking forward to the work ahead. I rode the 4 train down to City Hall today, and I cannot help think about the neighbors that I represent in District 17, who made something very clear when they elected me as their representative in this council. They issued a mandate. They elected a leader who will ensure that they are treated with the same dignity afforded to residents in every corner of our city. A leader who will fight to make sure the South Bronx receives the resources it deserves. One who knows and will ensure that all of their colleagues know that the Bronx is not just an afterthought, but a vital part of the fabric that makes New York City the cultural capital of the world. And above all, my neighbors want to see their quality of life improve. That means safer streets, cleaner blocks, and a government that shows up and delivers. And yes, sometimes that starts with a very simple idea, like cleaning the damn streets. I'd like to be excused for cursing in this chamber. And while those 4 simple words are simple, the work will not always be. In the next 4 years, we have a lot of opportunities and a lot to get done. I look forward to putting my agenda into action under the guidance of our Speaker, turning theory into practice, and working alongside each of my colleagues to accomplish the work ahead and build stronger communities across our city. Thank you.
Thank you. Yarina Sanchez.
Sanchez too, but I was first.
debatable. Okay, anyway, 2026 marks a new chapter for our city, and I'm energized by the opportunity to lead it alongside a speaker with a track record of effective leadership, delivering for New York City's children and families, advancing women in leadership, and a mayor who has made clear that tenants, working families, and communities long pushed to the margins will be at the center. That shared commitment to equity and affordability is what excites me most about the work ahead. Representing one of the lowest income districts in the city, my North Star is clear: protecting tenants living in the worst conditions, holding bad landlords accountable, and expanding pathways to economic security, like by bringing street vendors out of the shadows. I'm excited to work with Julie to advance a council agenda that meets this moment with seriousness, urgency, and results. I'm thankful for your past support, and I look forward to the many great things this council will do together under your leadership. I look forward to partnering with you to strengthen this institution, to govern thoughtfully across all differences, and to ensure that equity is not just a value that our body speaks of, but one that we continue to deliver on for working families in every borough. I for Julie Menin.
Santos Woso.
Permission to explain my vote?
Permission granted.
From one former law department attorney to another, from one former small business owner to another, and from one mom-to-be to a mom. I cast my vote for Julie Menin for Speaker, and particularly with a shared goal of delivering universal child care and affordability for working families and working parents across New York City, and especially in Southern Brooklyn, which I am so proud to be here today to represent. And finally, I just want to congratulate all of my fellow new colleagues for joining the council and congratulate my returning colleagues to the New York City Council. I am very happy to be here. Thank you so much.
Schulman.
Permission to explain my vote.
Permission granted.
As the first Jewish lesbian elected to the New York City Council, I proudly cast my vote for Julie Menin. Julie Menin is the speaker the New York City Council needs in this moment when the federal government is decimating our democracy. I have known Julie for more than a decade, and in that time, she has consistently demonstrated her leadership through her executive positions in government and as the director of the 2020 New York City Census. I worked as a staff member in the City Council after 9/11 and remember Julie's efforts as chair of Community Board 1 in Manhattan to support an Islamic center and mosque near Ground Zero with an interfaith component. As a council member, Julie has been laser-focused on universal child care along with healthcare transparency and accountability, among other important issues to New Yorkers. In addition, the character of a person is often measured by what they do out of the spotlight, and Julie has offered a helping hand to organizations and individuals dealing with both mundane and substantive issues. I will never forget her being there for me when I was being treated for breast cancer during my run for City Council in 2021. As a breast cancer survivor and someone who cares deeply about our city, I cannot think of a better person to lead our body.
Stevens.
I proudly vote aye for Julie Menin and want to say congratulations and thank you for your friendship for these last couple of years and look forward to doing the work for all the young people in New York City. Thank you.
Thomas Henry.
Permission to explain my vote?
Permission granted.
Good afternoon. I am grateful for the opportunity to address you today. I stand here as a voice for my community and as a point of accountability in these halls for the residents of District 21. What I have learned and what continues to guide my service is this: to govern well, we must know the people, not study them from a distance, but listen to them, work alongside them, and remain accountable to them. That principle matters as this body focuses on delivering lasting solutions for New Yorkers across every borough. Leadership in this moment is not about personality or praise. It is about collaboration, experience, and the ability to translate shared priorities into effective governance. In District 21, our challenges are deeply interconnected. Public safety, affordability, and protecting immigrant communities cannot be addressed in silos. Small businesses are working to stay open. Parents are navigating access to childcare while worrying about safety. Families depend on healthcare systems that must be transparent and responsive. Our creative workers and cultural institutions fuel our local economy and sustain our neighborhoods. These realities demand leadership that understands how policy works across systems and communities and how to bring people together to solve problems. Councilmember Menon's governing experience reflects that approach. From supporting small businesses through streamlined permitting, to advancing universal child care, to strengthening the creative economy and workforce. That experience creates opportunities for real collaboration across boroughs and across communities, which is essential for districts like mine. As a grandchild of small business owners who migrated to Corona, New York, from the Jim Crow South of Mississippi in hopes of building a new life for their family, I am especially encouraged by the opportunity to work together to strengthen neighborhood economies in Queens and across the city, while ensuring working families, caregivers, and immigrant communities are not left behind. This moment represents a new era for New York City, one where leadership experience with the people is centered, collaboration is prioritized, and accountability remains at the core of our work. The overwhelming majority reflected in this vote signals this body's readiness to move forward together. For these reasons, I vote aye for Councilmember Julie Menon to serve as Speaker of the New York City Council.
Ung.
Proudly vote aye for Councilmember Julie Menon. Congratulations.
Bernikov.
Permission to explain my vote?
Permission granted.
Thank you. I'd like to congratulate and wish a big mazel tov to our new Speaker of the City Council, Julie Menon, on her successful election. The members of this body who supported Julie encompass a broad range of representation, from liberal Democrats to conservative Republicans. This is a sentiment that is needed in our city now more than ever, and the broad spectrum of support for her leadership is a testament to who Julie Menon is, someone who's willing to work with and listen to everyone, regardless of political affiliation or differing opinions. Further, at a time when anti-Semitism has entered every corner of our society, it is especially heartening to see Julie Menon, a daughter of Holocaust survivors and an important voice against anti-Semitism, to be sworn in as our first Jewish speaker today. Even though we may not agree on all issues politically, Julie has extensive government experience, a record of success, and has not only delivered for New Yorkers, but has exhibited qualities which I have no doubt will result in her being an extremely competent speaker. I also want to thank Councilmember Joanne Ariola for her leadership of the Republican Conference thus far, and want to wish a big congratulations to my good friend and fellow Republican Councilmember David Carr, who was elected as our minority leader today. In the last 4 years working together with David Carr, he has proven himself to be a man of high integrity and will be a steady, principled, and unifying leader. Today, I'm excited and look forward to standing by the minority leader and our Republican delegation as we fight against and hold to account a mayor whose first couple of days have confirmed some of our worst fears. This body must be a check on the mayor's radical Marxist agenda, and Minority Leader Carr, along with our delegation, will be leading the opposition and fighting for the issues New Yorkers care about most. I proudly vote aye for Julie Menon for Speaker today. Thank you and congratulations to all.
Williams.
Permission to explain my vote?
Permission granted.
Over the years, I've known Julie to be steady, prepared, and consistent. Someone who shows up the same way in public, privately, and in the work. I value our working relationship, but most importantly, our friendship. And I'm confident we will move the council forward together in a way that's both thoughtful and results-driven. And with that, because I want to be like the rabbi and be invited all the time, so I'll be brief, I vote aye to support Councilmember Julie Menon for Speaker.
1.
I vote aye. Congratulations, Julie Menon. Speaker Menon.
Thank you, Councilmember. Wang.
Yes, I proudly vote for Julie Menon. Thank you.
Zhuang.
Permission to explain my vote?
Permission granted.
Thank you. I represent the largest AAPI majority district in Brooklyn, the first Asian majority district in Brooklyn. Councilmember Julie Menon has visited my district so many times. We see Julie Menon almost every single corner. She danced on the stage with me during the first ever Jewish and AAPI Heritage Month celebration in my district. She walked along with me the first Lunar New Year parade in Brooklyn together. During my first time, I watched Julie champion for public safety, quality education, and also when I was using my daughter's leftover folder, New York Kids Rise program, she said she created that program. She's everywhere. And also I see she creates Fight for Seniors, and also the most important, we need to unite everyone, fight for our city. Next year, as Asian Chinese, I'm especially proud of my heritage. I always talk about the Lunar New Year. Next year is the year of fire horse in the Lunar New Year. It symbols energy, freedom, strength, and progress, represent a time for bold action and positive change. This strength and positive change also describe my good friend, next speaker, Julie Menon. I'm very proud voting yes for next speaker, Julie Menon.
By a vote of 51 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, and 0 abstentions, the council has duly elected Councilmember Julie Menon as the Speaker of the City Council for the term commencing January 1, 2026, and terminating December 31, 2029. Madam Speaker, you have the floor.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. What an incredible moment. I, first of all, most importantly, want to thank my colleagues, my amazing, wonderful colleagues. Thank you for the trust, for the faith, for the confidence that you have placed in me to be your speaker. Thank you. And thank you. And I pledge to be a speaker for each and every single member in your respective communities. Now, we have a lot of honored guests here today, so please bear with me because we have a lot of people that we want to thank. So first of all, I want to thank the former speakers of the City Council, Adrian Adams, Melissa Mark Viverito, Gifford Miller, Corey Johnson. Thank you so much for your leadership. Thank you for joining us today. And we've also, of course, been joined by our great New York State Attorney General, Tish James. Our New York City Public Advocate, Chamani Williams. Thank you for being here. Our new Controller, Mark Levine. From the administration, I'm so happy he could join us today, someone I've worked with for literally over 20 years, and that's First Deputy Mayor Dean Fulhan. Dean, thank you so much. And I believe we were joined by Director of Intergovernmental Affairs, Jamila Edwards. And from Governor Hochul's office, Debbie Lewis, Assistant Secretary of Intergovernmental Affairs. Thank you so much for being with us. We have been joined by Bronx Borough President Vanessa Gebson. Is she still here? I think she was here before. Okay, Borough President Antonio Reynoso, he was here. He just left, I think. Manhattan Borough President Brad Hoylman Siegel, he is here. Former Bronx Borough President Ruben Diaz Jr. New York State Senator Sam Sutton. And we've been joined by Brooklyn County Democratic Chairwoman, New York State Assembly Member Rajneesh Bashad Hermelin. So many other people I'm going to recognize. I really want to, first of all, thank our incredible friends in labor, many of whom are here today. So first of all, a great friend and partner, President of HTC, Rich Morocco. Another great friend and partner, President of 32BJ, Manny Pastridge. I believe we are joined by Henry Garrido, Executive Director of DC 37. Okay. And the president of the U of T, Michael Mulgrew, was here. He had to leave, but we so appreciate that he joined us today. And we have the president of the AFT, Randy Weingarten. Randy. We've got president of RWDSU, my constituent, Stuart Applebaum. And from the Central Labor Council, the president, Brandon Griffith, and we've also been joined by the District Council of Carpenters. So let me take a moment to thank a few individuals who could not be here today, but I want to extend them very special thanks. With both Washington and Albany in session, I want to give a special shout out to Queens County Democratic Chairman Congressmember Greg Meeks, who's in DC right now, and who is represented by Frank Bowles, counsel to the Queens Democratic Party. In Bronx County, Democratic Chairman State Senator Jamal Bailey, who's up in Albany, but he's been represented here by Ariana Collado, Executive Director of Bronx Democratic Party. And I'm so proud we could be joined by a few former City Council members, Keith Powers, Danny Drum, Mark Traeger, Mark Weprin, and former Bronx Borough President Ruben Diaz Jr. And we've also been joined by former Congressmember Carolyn Maloney. Okay. So I want to also thank my colleagues who ran for Speaker, who ran such incredible campaigns based on integrity, based on substance, based on principle. Crystal Hudson, thank you so much for everything that you did. Sylvina Brooks Powers, Amanda Farias, Chris Marte, and Carmen De La Rosa. So thank you. I really look forward to working with all of you. Now, the most important thank you is to my amazing family. Thank you to my incredible husband, Bruce, for all of your love and support. My daughter, Maddie. Yay, Maddie. And my sons, Mason, Lucas, and Max. Thank you so much for everything. So I know that I am here today in part because of the paths that every single member in this city council has blazed. And I really want to give a special thanks and shout out to our incredible, historic majority women city council. There is truly no greater honor in my life than to stand before you as your speaker. And when I think about what that honor means, I think about what brought me to this moment and what, frankly, brought all of us here today. And that is the story of America, which is the story of New York, and that is the story of immigrants. Right now, we gather here at City Hall, but just a few blocks from here is where that story starts, by the shoreline of Battery Park. It's a place where land meets the water and history meets the present. The place where newcomers become New Yorkers, and where immigrants came to seek a better life. But they came here with hope, hope that this city and that this country could give them a chance to achieve the American dream. In the early 1950s, two of those immigrants were my mother and grandmother. Yet their journey to the land of the free was far from a timid one. They both survived the Holocaust in Hungary by hiding in a cellar. And my grandfather and other of our relatives were murdered just because they were Jewish. After the war ended, my mother and grandmother stayed in Hungary, but even this new chapter did not lead them into a world of freedom. When the Soviets took over Hungary, they planted mines, bombs all along the border, and there was literally no way out. But my grandmother was fearless, and thanks to the compassion of a stranger, in the middle of the night, she took my mother and escaped into Czechoslovakia. Europe was still no friendly place for Jews, and the only country that would take them in was Australia. But after living in Sydney for 6 years, they finally fulfilled their dream to come to New York. When they arrived, they settled into a rent-controlled apartment in Little Hungary, with little more than that newly American hope and the stubborn refusal to give it up. The east side of Manhattan was a community that welcomed my family with open arms, a community that gave them a better life after the horrors that they had been through. And with the beauty of life brings things full circle, I now have the great honor and distinction of representing that neighborhood. This is a story of so many New Yorkers. It's Dominican families in Washington Heights and Mexican families in Sunset Park, opening doors to their homes and small businesses to new arrivals. It's Haitian households in Flatbush and Canarsie, embracing those fleeing instability, and Caribbean communities in Crown Heights and in East New York, extending the same support that they once received. It's Polish families in Greenpoint and Ridgewood, helping the next generation find their footing, and Chinese families in Flushing, supporting them through family networks and local shops. It's South Asian families in Jackson Heights and Richmond Hill, welcoming newcomers with opportunity, and West African families in the Bronx and Staten Island, building communities that are rooted in faith, in work, and in mutual care. Now, I want to personally say that I never in a million years thought I would be a politician and run for office. In fact, after practicing law for 7 years, I opened up a small business, a restaurant, not that far from here, in Lower Manhattan. But when 9/11 happened, it changed everything. Both my restaurant and my apartment at the time were located just a few blocks away from Ground Zero. And my husband Bruce was supposed to be at the World Trade Center that fateful morning for a 9 a.m. meeting. And unbeknownst to me, he moved the location of his meeting. My mother, who lived with us, had gone out that morning for a doctor's appointment. We frantically tried to find her all day. Thankfully, our family was okay, but my small business was decimated, with every single window blown out and the shards of glass everywhere, and when the towers collapsed, the white grayish ash in every inch and crevice of my business. When insurance carriers took out full-page ads in the local papers, they promised New Yorkers that they were in our corner. And when insurance carriers gave us small business owners 5 days of business interruption insurance, and I know our Attorney General's nodding her head, 5 days of business interruption payments, despite us being in the frozen zone for months on end, they broke that promise. But that broken promise forged a new one within me, a promise to take on large corporations that engaged in predatory conduct. While the windows of my restaurant were shattered, our spirit of resilience was anything but. After founding a not-for-profit organization in Lower Manhattan that was focused on rebuilding downtown and growing it into over 30,000 members, I chaired, as Councilmember Marte said, Community Board 1 for over 7 years. From programs we launched like Art Downtown and Music Downtown, to building new schools and building the World Trade Center Performing Arts Center, to helping over 600 small businesses stay in Lower Manhattan, we planted the seeds for Lower Manhattan's revival at a time when people, quite frankly, doubted us. But our city also faced another distressing issue in the wake of 9/11, the deplorable surge of Islamophobia. When the construction of an Islamic cultural center was proposed near Ground Zero, a center to foster dialogue and unity, people fiercely opposed it. And that shameful opposition sent a signal to Muslim New Yorkers that they did not belong in a city that was meant to welcome everyone. When their freedom of religion was protested in public, we could not stand by in silence. Along with Daisy Khan, who proposed a project and who I'm so honored is here with us today. Daisy, thank you. We stood up to champion the rights of every New Yorker. Despite the death threats I received, not for a week, not for a month, but for well over a year, we did not waver in support of this project. So as chair of the community board, I was proud to write the resolution and guide it through our community boards to vote overwhelmingly in favor of the Islamic Cultural Center and mosque. Sadly, that surge we saw over 20 years ago is not unlike the atmosphere that we are unfortunately currently experiencing. Hatred and violence are running rampant across our country and around the world. From the horrific shooting at Brown University to the anti-Semitic terror attack at Bondi Beach in Sydney, it's happening all over, and we must ensure that New York continues to serve as a beacon of hope, of tolerance, and inclusion. We live in a day when the first Muslim mayor of New York City and now the first Jewish speaker of the council are serving at the same time. This moment is truly historic, but what will write this interfaith leadership into the history books is if it can act as an opportunity for all of us to come together, to calm tensions, to bridge divides, and to recognize we are one city, no matter the religion we practice or the language we speak. Building that Islamic Cultural Center meant upholding the dignity that every New Yorker deserves. And for the past 4 years in the City Council, it's been an honor striving to do that with all of you in so many different ways. For the past 4 years, we've worked to build more affordable housing in every single borough. We've worked to combat anti-Semitism through education, launching a program to bring every 8th grade public school student to the Museum of Jewish Heritage. We've worked to address issues around health disparities and maternal mortality. And yes, we have taken the first steps to enact universal child care. And by working with the mayor and the governor, we can truly make it a reality. But now we all have an exceptional opportunity, and I would argue an attendant obligation, to take the council into a new era, a proactive era, an era of initiative and ingenuity. Rather than simply wait for ULIPs to come to us, we as a council will release our own affordable housing plan by looking at the 215 public library branches to see where we can build affordable housing. And we're going to study the over 1,000 DCAS underutilized and city-owned assets that we can convert into, affordable housing for New Yorkers who need them. As a council, we must make it easier for our small businesses to operate by slashing fines and cutting bureaucratic red tape. And we must tackle skyrocketing healthcare costs, because medical debt is the leading cause of debt for New Yorkers. Why should a woman who's giving birth by C-section be charged $55,000 at one New York City hospital, and then another woman who's giving birth by C-section is charged $17,000 at another hospital just blocks away? It shouldn't. And we will use the new Healthcare Accountability Office that we created to lower exorbitant healthcare costs once and for all. Yes. As a council, we must confront the culture of fraud, waste, abuse, and corruption that has plagued City Hall, and enact procurement reform to end no-bid contracts that have cost our city billions of dollars. And we need procurement reform because why should it cost the Parks Department $4 million to build a bathroom or take 10 years to renovate a park? And we have to ensure that city services are functioning at the very highest levels and restore the enormous staff vacancies with agencies being gutted in the last administration. We must counter income inequality with historic investments in baby bonds and universal college savings accounts, because ongoing education, whether it be vocational school or community college, can lead to double the wages earned in one's lifetime. And in certain parts of the city, we know our immigrant communities are facing an increasingly hostile environment. As a council, we must work to ensure that every single family feels safe enough to put down roots in their neighborhoods. roots which strengthen the structure, shape the culture, and provide the vibrancy of our 5 great boroughs. But as your speaker, I want to anchor our vision of leadership in the story of our city. A vision as hopeful of the immigrants who come here and as persistent as the spirit that drove them here. The waves of immigrants that arrived on our shores created waves of change that forever altered the fabric of history. They brought new perspectives and ideas. They brought new solutions to old problems and new people to solve them, and they still do. As the first Jewish speaker, I want my vision of leadership to be as focused on dissolving division as it is on uniting all coalitions. But most of all, I want to be a speaker for every single member of this city council, because I know that the fight to create a safer, stronger, more affordable New York is not one alone. And we need to work together to make the greatest city in New York, greatest city in the world, even greater. As a body of 51 individuals, the legislation that is most life-changing and forward-thinking comes from the collection of policies to which all of us contribute. Our city has flourished because our foundation wasn't built on simplistic paradigms, and because of our ability to hold 2 truths that may seem mutually exclusive, but in fact are mutually reinforcing. For example, our city needs meaningful criminal justice reform, and at the same time, we must have the requisite resources for robust public safety measures. Our city needs to attract new businesses, and at the same time, we must have the strongest worker protections in the country. And our city needs to protect the First Amendment right to peacefully protest, which is sacrosanct, but at the same time, we must never jeopardize a New Yorker's right to worship, because we cannot let what happened outside Park East Synagogue ever happen again at any house of worship. To me, this especially hits home. Our faith is about our family. Now, I know I said earlier that being elected speaker is the greatest professional honor of my life, but I'll happily admit that being a mom is the greatest joy and pleasure in my life. As a mother of 4, my children give me so much love, so much support, so much pride, but they also give me a lot of ideas. And as I was speaking to them about what I should say today, they offered a few ideas. So one of the ideas my 7-year-old daughter proposed was that we should pass a law that social media should only be used to show nice things, like baking cakes or cute stuffed animals. It's hard to disagree with her on that one. But then she said something else. She said that we should pass a law that when you cross the street, we must all smile at each other. And that made me smile, but in the next instant, it sent me back more than 20 years. I thought of the days right after 9/11 and how we all had a little more love, a little more compassion, and a little more patience for one another. Or how during COVID, we all checked in on one another. We looked out for one another. How in the worst of times, we still had the capacity to give our best. And we still do. It should not take childhood exuberance or a tragedy or even the memory of one to forge compassion within us. It shouldn't take retelling the story of New York to remind ourselves that immigrants in every decade built and rebuilt this city. But when we do, and when we remember who planted the seeds that bore the fruits of our success, when we recall that the cohesion of our community is rooted in the tolerance of our differences, not the echo chamber of our similarities, we can celebrate New York as a city that leaves no one behind, a city that was founded as much on courage as on kindness, a city that raised me and my family and millions of others. And we will be a council that works for all of them. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Now to the order of the council. We're going to get to business. Right to work.
Messages and papers from the mayor.
M3 through M22, mayoral vetoes.
Referred to committee as indicated on the agenda.
Communication from city, county, and borough offices.
M23, Comptroller's report.
Received, ordered, printed, and filed.
Petitions and communications.
M24, nomination and election of the Temporary Committee on Rules, Privileges, and Elections.
Pursuant to Rule 7.10, I move to elect the following council members as the temporary members of the Committee on Rules, Privileges, and Elections. The purpose of this committee will be to meet on Thursday, January 15th, 2026, to recommend the membership and chairs of all other committees of the council. I nominate Councilmember Sandra Ung to serve as temporary chair of this committee, and I also nominate the following council members to serve as temporary members of the committee: David Carr, myself, Kevin Riley, Sean Abreu, Shekhar Krishnan, and Chris Banks. I would now ask the clerk for a roll call vote on the motion to elect these nominees.
Abreu.
Aye.
Aldebo.
Aye.
Ariola.
I vote aye.
Aviles. Okay, we'll come back. Banks.
Aye.
Botcher.
Aye.
Brewer.
Yes.
Brooks Powers.
Aye.
Caban.
Aye.
Carr.
Aye.
De La Rosa.
Aye.
Dinowitz.
Aye.
Encarnacion.
Aye.
Epstein.
Yes.
Farias.
I vote aye.
Felder.
Yes.
Feliz.
Aye.
Thank you. Gennaro.
Aye.
Gutierrez.
Aye.
Hanif.
Aye.
Hankerson.
Aye.
Hanks.
Aye.
Hudson.
Aye.
Joseph.
Aye.
Krishnan.
Aye.
Lee.
Aye.
Lewis.
Aye.
Maloney.
Aye.
Marte.
Aye.
Mealy.
Aye.
Morano.
Aye.
Narcisse.
I vote aye.
Nurse. Thank you. Osei.
I vote aye.
Thank you. Palladino.
Aye.
Wrestler.
Aye.
Riley.
Aye.
Salam.
I vote aye.
Justin Sanchez.
Aye.
Pirina Sanchez.
Aye.
Santos Woso.
Aye.
Schulman.
Aye.
Stevens.
Aye.
Thomas Henry.
Aye.
Ung.
Aye.
Vernikov. Williams.
I vote aye.
1. Wang.
I vote yes.
Zhuang.
Aye.
Councilmember Aviles.
Aye.
Thank you. Councilmember 1. Speaker Menon.
Aye.
M24 is approved with a vote of 50 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, and 0 abstentions.
Thank you, Mr. City Clerk. M25, designation of minority leader.
Received. After a duly convened meeting of the Republican Conference, Councilmember David Carr was elected Minority Leader of the City Council. I first of all I really want to congratulate you, Mr. Minority Leader. Your election is historic. I can't wait to partner with you. We're all very excited for you, and we now turn it over to you to say a few words.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Let me begin by congratulating all members on their elections from this past November, and all of those who were chosen for leadership positions today, especially you, Madam Speaker. Congratulations. I know the way that you sought this post is the way that you intend to govern, with relentless energy, a passion for every detail of city government, and a strong commitment to engaging and working in partnership with all 50 of your colleagues in this body. I look forward to your tenure and working together to advance our city's future. And I also look forward to starting stated meetings on time. I must begin, of course, by thanking my husband, Don. He's not here today, A, because he's working, and B, because he knew that I was going to mention him. But he is my love in my heart, and for years I walked alone, and now I never do. And it's because of him, and I thank him so much from the bottom of my heart for being a part of my life and making it whole. I must thank my Republican colleagues. They are phenomenal representatives for this city. Their tenacity on behalf of their constituents and our shared, deeply held principles always shine through. From Councilmember Ariola's unwavering pursuit of justice for city workers that were wrongfully terminated during the pandemic, to Councilmember Palladino's unabashed championing of homeowners in the face of rising costs due to property taxes and mandates like Local Law 97, to Councilmember Morano's forging of bipartisan coalitions on critical health issues like support for in vitro fertilization, to Minority Whip Vernikoff, who has been a warrior across a range of issues, including the fights against anti-Semitism and radical policies deeply at odds with the values of common sense New Yorkers. To my colleagues, Councilmembers Ariola and Palladino, you are strong, you are fierce, and I have the example of your leadership before me and your dedication to our conservative values. I thank you for your leadership. I want to also thank Minority Whip Vernikoff and Councilmember Morano for their faith in me, their constant companionship and advice, and most importantly, for their treasured friendship. I could not be here without you. Now, more than ever, I believe the minority delegation has a crucial role to play in this council and in the broader body politic of the city of New York. The 19th century British statesman Benjamin Disraeli once observed that a good opposition proposes nothing and opposes everything. That has not been the position of this delegation. While we will never shrink for fighting for what we believe in, we will continue to build our relationships across the aisle in this body and with our new speaker to advance common sense legislation that will improve the lives of all New Yorkers. I also know that in our hearts, we five share a fierce dedication to the principles upon which our great nation was founded. This July 4th, we will celebrate 250 years since the birth of our country. And yet, here in New York City, the legacy of our founding generation, which is grounded in individual liberty, property rights, and the free enterprise system, is being threatened by the smothering heat of collectivism. Our new mayor outlined the stakes himself when he said New Yorkers were asking the question of whether the left can govern. We already know the answer. History has proven socialism to be a formula for tyranny, misery, and economic failure. It will not only serve to divide our city, it will obstruct any progress we can make for our 5 boroughs, because it runs counter to that most basic principle that has made our city and indeed our country great: the dignity and the freedom of individuals to pursue their own happiness. The greatness of our city stems from the vitality, the intellect, and the aspirations of the individual, and the voluntary collaboration of communities, not from the coercive power of an all-encompassing government. That is the history of the success of our country and our city, and the foundation of our future success. So in what do we believe? We believe that prosperity and liberty are built on public safety, and so we will always have the backs of our men and women in law enforcement and our first responders. We believe our nation's largest city must never forget the lessons of the 1970s financial crisis, so we must balance the budget through fiscal responsibility, not with crushing taxes that will destroy our financial base. We believe that we must educate our children to be part of the workforce of tomorrow, and at the level that will lead to their success, whether it be specialized high schools and gifted and talented seats, or STEAM programming, or the development of skilled trades. We believe that we must ease the financial burden for our middle and working class families wherever we can, and that starts by providing them with real property tax relief so that they can stay in their homes. And no, we do not believe that home ownership is a weapon for white supremacy, but rather a vital pathway to financial stability and empowerment for all New York families. We believe that we must deliver the essential services of government: infrastructure, sanitation, public safety, support for our seniors, and investments in our parks and open spaces. These are the cornerstones of quality of life. And we stand ready to work with each of you and all of our partners to achieve these worthy goals and to make great things happen for our magnificent city. Thank you.
Thank you, Minority Leader Carr. I will now call on Speaker Julie Menin to close today's charter meeting.
Thank you. The charter meeting of January 7th, 2026 is hereby adjourned.